Good day. Welcome to today's class in our digital marketing training as we continue this digital marketing course. Today, we focus on lesson 2, tracking and measuring digital marketing. Okay. Now, in this module, we'll be looking at tools and some few websites that you'll be using to track and measure the results and data that you are getting from the efforts of your digital marketing. So we'll be looking at those tools and we'll be trying to analyze them, and we'll be looking at what marketing funnels mean in the digital marketing world. And I hope that by now you've created your ideal customer avatar, because as we go on in this training, those are the basic foundations that you need to have in place for you to implement every other thing that we will be doing as we go on in this training over the next few weeks. Okay, this training is brought to you again by Just Breed Digital Marketing Academy, located at 11A Kongi Bodija in the city of Ibadan. I'm your course educator for this introduction to digital marketing. My name is Moses Alabi Isama. I am the founder and head of trainings at Jobs Bridge Digital Marketing Academy. I sincerely appreciate you for watching this video and being a part of this course. Okay, so this is our objectives for lesson 2. We'll be looking at marketing funnels. We'll determine what objectives are. We will look at how to track performance and how analytics can help us analyze and build on the data that we get from the traffic that are coming to our website, our landing page. We'll be able to use Google Analytics to analyze the data and make use of it to improve our business. But before we move on, let's look at what conversion means. Like I said in video 1, traffic is the total number of people who come from search engines, social media, different platforms online to your website or to your landing page. The total number of people that visit your website or your landing page, they are referred to as traffic. Then leads are those who take a certain goal or they take a certain step that you have predefined as a goal that you want people to take when they come to your website. Okay, people become leads when they take that step that you have predefined. We also call that step that they've taken, which turn them into leads, as conversion. We say a conversion happens when a site visitor completes a desired action, e.g., submitting a form, making a purchase. Okay, so what are marketing sales funnels? It is a collection of stages that you ideally want your potential client to follow towards your key objectives. It is a collection of stages that you ideally want your potential clients to follow towards your key objectives. Okay, so we all have an idea of what a funnel looks like. So we have the biggest part of the funnel, and as people enter the funnel and go to the lowest part of the funnel where they eventually take action and become paying clients. Understanding what marketing sales funnels do for a business is very important as a digital marketing professional. Okay, so this is what the funnel looks like, and we also refer to it as the purchase funnel. There's no one that buys a product or a service that doesn't fit into a marketing funnel. Okay, like you can see, the biggest part of the funnel, we refer to it as the awareness stage. This is where people become aware of a product or service. No one buys a product or service if they aren't aware of it in the first place. You can't do business with an organization that you do not know exists. Okay, so from awareness, we want you to become interested, and we want that interest to move from interest to becoming a desire until the person eventually takes action and becomes a paying customer. Now, the awareness part of the funnel lets us have an idea of the potential of the market. How big is this market that I want to go into? Now, as we go on in the training, you will get to know how to handle each stage of the funnel. Now, The interest and the desire stage is where someone who has become aware of a product or service goes through the next stage of doing a consideration or an evaluation. That is where you try and compare business A with business B or business C. Now, then you now determine which one should I eventually do business with based on what is most important to you, value, the fees, and many other things attached. So you become aware of a product or service, then you do a consideration or an evaluation, which is the two parts of the funnel, the blue part and the red part, which is where your interest eventually becomes a desire. Because when you've done your consideration and you finally decided on which one to do, at that point, your interest has now turned into a desire. The interest in which you had in that organization has now turned into a desire because they've been able to satisfy your curiosity. They've been able to meet your questions, the questions that you had in mind when you were doing your consideration or evaluation. They have provided you with the best answers that gives you confidence to go ahead buying the product or service from them. Okay, now you're looking at AIDA. Meet AIDA, the traditional sales funnel. Okay, will be the AIDA simply stands for an acronym: awareness, interest, desire, and action. So we'll be looking at each stage of the sales funnel. Okay, the AIDA funnel. Awareness: someone views an ad, a blog post or social network or search on Google. The person becomes aware of a product or service. It could be because the person saw an ad. It could be because the person saw a blog post on social media, or the person actually did a search on Google and the person becomes aware of your product or service. Okay. Then the interest stage, which is the green part of the funnel, refers to someone has now seen your ad, now visits your site, researches your brand, follows your social media page, starts making comparisons. That's the interest stage of the funnel. Now, the desire part of the funnel is moving from like to want, revisiting the website or submitting a lead. Now, someone has visited your website before, is checking with others, is comparing your business with others. Now revisit your site again. At that stage, you believe that person is no more just interested in your business. Now the interest has now turned into a desire. Now, the person also eventually takes an action, submits a form on your site, sends an email to you, or even call your organization. That is a desire. Then the final part of the funnel is where the person takes an action. The person makes a purchase, takes out a trial, or books a demo, maybe even comes to make inquiries at your office, watches some of your videos, and stuff like that. Now the person has taken an action. Now the person is getting to know your organization more and is ready to do business with your organization. Okay, so I try to explain each part of the funnel again. Awareness: the customer becomes aware of their needs or problems. Okay, then the person does a search. The customer searches for potential solutions to meet their needs. Then the customer does an evaluation. The customer evaluates the different options to fulfill their needs. Then he makes a decision. Customer decides on a solution. Evangelize: customer becomes an active user of the product or service and can also tell other people about how good or bad the product or service is. Now, each and every one of us go through each of these stages for any product or service that we are using or that you have ever used. You must become aware of something before you can use it. And you will do a search to check, does this meet the need that I have? Then you go through the process of evaluation, because definitely there can be one business rendering that product or service. Then you want to check, are there other alternatives that are better than this one that I have? Are there other ones with better pricing? Are there other ones with better payment structure? Those are all the things we all go through on a daily basis before we buy a product or a service. Now we're looking at conversion goals and funnel. We're looking at the things to do at each stage of the funnel. At the awareness stage, what you'll be looking at basically is writing blog posts. sending emails, creating how-to videos. You are trying to put your product or service in front of the potential customer where they can become aware of the product or service. When people are going through the evaluation stage, you want to be ready with customer reviews because people will check. Have other people used this product or service before? Those are the things people will consider when they are doing the evaluation of different businesses. They are going to check what other customers have written about your product or service. They will want to also try your free sample, or if it's a training, they want to have a free class. They want to have a feel of what your training or class looks like before they pay. They want to see case studies. They want to see demo videos. They would like to visit your frequently asked questions page while they are comparing you with other businesses. Okay. At the purchase stage, they want to have a free consultation. They want to see what your pricing page looks like. They want to have a free trial. Do we have a free trial of this product or service? Can we test it for a week? Can we test it for 3 days? They would like to get a quote from you. They like to see, do you offer discount at this point? That is the purchase stage. At each stage of the journey, you must have information ready that people need. Okay. So part of the things you're also looking at, which also goes deeper into explaining the marketing funnel in digital marketing. Okay, we are looking at the see, think, do, and care aspect of marketing. Now, the C part is a brand's largest qualified audience, all those who are aware of your product or service, all those who have a need for this product or service. That is how big your market is. That is the biggest part of the funnel. Then the think part is the consumers thinking about product or service. At this point, they are not just aware. They're now thinking, I think I will need to have this problem solved. What product or service should I use? That is the consideration or evaluation stage where they think about the product or service that they will need to solve this specific problem. Then the do stage is where they are ready to buy. Then the care stage is ongoing communication to inspire repeat purchases. You continually send your clients messages. You make a phone call. How is the product working? Were you satisfied with the service that you got from us? Not only do you do this because you want repeat business, but because you also want them to be able to recommend your business to other potential clients who might also have the same need that they had before they bought your product or service. Okay, so we are looking at a funnel example that is trying to explain the see, think, do, care aspect of the marketing funnel. Okay, so I'm using a mechanic as an example. Now, the C stage applies to anyone who owns a car, for example. That's how big is this market? As a mechanic, how big is the market that I want to reach? So that's the C part of the funnel, which we also refer to as the awareness part of the funnel. It is the biggest part of the funnel. So as a mechanic, I'll be looking at the biggest part of the funnel will be anyone who owns a car. Anyone who owns a car. Okay. The think stage are those who need my service. They are thinking about the service. Maybe they have a problem with their car. Okay. So they're thinking about the service. Because someone has a car, which is the awareness part of the funnel, doesn't necessarily mean they will need a mechanic. But over time, if you keep using a car, you will eventually need a mechanic. That is why, as a digital marketing professional, you must be ready for each stage of the customer journey. Your content, the videos you are producing on the internet, they are already aware. Now you want to position yourself in such a way that when the need eventually comes for your product or service, the client automatically thinks of your business because he has seen your business before. He's aware of your product or service. So when the need arises for that product or service, they automatically think about your business. Okay. Now, the do stage is where they eventually use this service or they eventually use the product that you have. Okay. So we have The awareness stage, the C stage, the interest or evaluation stage is where someone has moved from seeing to thinking about your product or service. Eventually now they need that service. That is the do stage of the funnel. Now they have to use this service. Okay. Then the care part of the funnel, retention with communication and good service. This is where you follow up to see, okay, the service we rendered, how good was it? Is it still working? The thing we repaired, did it work? You retain customers with good communication and good service. I hope you are flowing as we are going on in this. All these things are basic things that you must know and have in place. And like I said when we started this training, you must be thinking as a freelancer. You'll be rendering these services for other organizations. Now, you also need to think as a business owner and as an employee. If you're working with an organization, these are the basic things you will start with when you start the process of rendering digital marketing services as a digital marketing professional. Okay. Another funnel example is where we talk about the view, act, and convert. You know, we are just looking at different models of the same funnel. We've looked at the AIDA model. We've looked at the C, think, do, and care model. Now we are looking at the view, act, and convert model, which is the VAC model. It all means the same thing. Someone views your product or service, acts on it, eventually converts. So we are looking at the VAC model. Okay. Mechanic, I'm still using mechanic as an example. View, people looking for car services or mechanics. Okay. Those are the people in the biggest part of the funnel. People looking for car services or mechanics. The person takes an action, comes to your website or a landing page, submits a lead, submits a form, which you can use to contact them, or the person makes a phone call. Now the person has taken an action. The person is no more just interested. Now the person is acting. Okay. Now the person converts, uses the mechanic's service. So the person sees it, which is the view stage, acts on it, submits a form, or takes an action that you want the person to take. The person eventually converts, makes use of the mechanic's service. Okay. Now, so what else will we be looking at? If the strategy you implement after determining your sales funnel / cycle is not producing the desired results, then you need to look at your customer journey. Now, like I've been saying, every customer has a journey to buying a product. You must know the stages that people go through before they eventually buy a product or service. Now, if you are not sure of the stage that people go through before they eventually buy a product or service, you won't know the content to produce, to write, to meet them at each stage of the journey. Because at each stage of the journey or at each part of the funnel, every person will have a question they want to ask. They will have questions that they want answers to. And that is why your content, whether in the written form or a video form, must have answers ready for people at each stage of the journey. I hope you are getting my point. Okay, so what's the difference between the customer journey and the marketing funnel? So the customer journey is a detailed outline of every step a lead takes to become a paying customer. A detailed outline of every step a lead takes to become a paying customer. That's what we refer to as the customer journey. Now, we are looking at 6-stage funnel example of B2C and B2B. B2C simply means a business that is rendering a service to a customer directly. And B2B means a business that is rendering a service to another business. Okay, so under B2C, we said business that provides services or products to customers. There's a mistake somewhere there. The B2C is supposed to be business that provides a product or service to people, to consumers. B2B is the one that provides services or products to other business. So under B2C, when the person becomes aware, it searches for information. The B2B also does a search for information when they are in the awareness part of the funnel. Now, at the interest part of the funnel, the B2C, I mean, the consumer will be looking at different products or services, while the B2B will be looking at specific products. At the consideration stage, the B2C will compare and read reviews, while the B2B will share research with other business partners. Okay. At the intent stage of the funnel, you can see the funnel keeps getting smaller because as you are coming down, that means you are getting closer to a sale. Okay. At the intent stage of the funnel, the B2C add products to cart, while the B2B will request a demo. Wants to see, okay, let's see what your product or service looks like. Come and make a presentation to us. Okay. At the evaluation stage of the funnel, the B2C will review and go to checkout. Now it's ready to buy. Now the B2B will request to get a contract. Okay. They want you to write a quote and let them see your pricing. Okay. Now at the sale part of the funnel, the B2C and the B2B, they will do the same thing. They complete a transaction. You need to know what type of business you run. Is your business focused on producing a service directly to another consumer, or your focus is selling your product or service to a business? There are people whose business is just to produce a service or provide a service or product for a business, while other businesses focus predominantly on just other consumers. Okay, so there are resources that you can use for your research. You've talked of Google Trends before, which lets you know the popularity of a given search term or topic. Keyword research. These are popular keywords that are relevant to your business. We'll be going into this in the next video, where we'll be creating a Google My Business profile, and you'll be doing a keyword research using KW Finder and other tools that we'll be making use of as we go on in the training. The social media presence, you view competitor activity as well as current ads that they are promoting. Okay, your own data, any data you have from site tracking, email signups, etc. Okay, so Google Analytics is the free service that provides website statistics and analytical tools. We'll be going through all of this as we go on in the training. We'll be doing a practical demo of how to use Google Analytics and all those other websites. Okay, so some analytics terms you need to have in mind. The user is a person. The person that visits your site is the user. The session is a group of interactions with your site. Okay, the session simply means you visit a site, you stay there for 2 minutes. That's a session. You go, you come back again, you do 5 minutes. That's another session. So is it any time you interact with a site, you're having a session on that site. Then the next term is bounce rate. This is the percentage of users who exited your site after the first page. Now, every organization, digital marketing professional, will try to make sure that the bounce rate on a website keeps reducing. Now, you don't want people to just visit your site and disappear immediately. Because if people visit your site without reading anything on your page, it's either the wrong person visited your page or something is wrong with your website. Maybe your website didn't load quickly and all those other stuff. So we'll be looking into them as we go on in the training. Okay. Then we also look at conversion rate, the number of people who converted / all visitors. Now, if 50 people visited your website and 5 of them eventually gave you their details, that means your site has a 10% conversion rate. Okay. Acquisition, where site visitors came from, coming from social media, coming from Google. Those sites they come from, we refer to those sites as the acquisition sites. Okay, then we're looking at the buying / sales cycle. So it is the process the customer goes through before finally becoming a client. The process the customer goes through before finally becoming a client. And I said you must know this process for every business you will be dealing with. How do the customers buy? And the best way to know this is to have a chart with those who are already customers of that business. What process did they go through before they eventually bought the product or service? What objections did they have? Now, you would have done all this if you had done your ideal customer avatar. If you had created that, you would have known the process that the customer goes through before finally making use of a product or service. So this is how your business must be structured, from the content that you create to your marketing strategy. But before you can properly structure your content and marketing strategy perfectly, you need to know who your ideal audience or customer is, which I know that we've already done. Okay. So there are more questions that are asked at each level of the conversion funnel. How do we make the customer more aware of our brand? Because that's the first stage. If, like I said before, if someone is not aware of your product or service, there's no way they can use it. Then, how do we entice them with an irresistible offer? Okay, we need to have something that is unique to us. Why would they not act, and what can we do to fix that? How can we recognize and anticipate their needs? You see, these are all important questions you need to ask as you build a business. Then we are looking at the typical sales funnel, just like we've been going through the AIDA funnel. This is what a typical sales funnel looks like. Someone listens or sees an ad or hears about a promotion or public relations or word of mouth from other people. After that, they come to your website, your store, or where you have your business located. They take action, you thank them, they leave. But you see, this is what happens in the physical world and in most times, okay? But we said there's something wrong with this sales funnel. Can you see what is wrong with this sales funnel? There's something wrong with this sales funnel in the digital marketing world. We know that there's something wrong here, okay? Now, there's no effort towards potential customer retention. What it means is, if you go back and check the funnel, you would have realized that after the first stage where people become aware of your product or service because they saw the ad or someone told them about it. Now, the person comes to your website or goes to your store. Now, not everybody that comes to your site will eventually buy on the first visit. That is why we have what is called a landing page. Now, many people run ads on Facebook and they lose a lot of their money. Why? Because they run their ads on Facebook, put their phone number there or their office address, and they're expecting that people will just visit their site and eventually become customers. No, it doesn't work that way. You need to take them through a landing page where they give you their details, their email or phone number, so that you can reach them again if they don't eventually buy at the first visit. You can send them a text to say there's a special promo going on. You can say there's a 50% discount or a 10% discount going on in this month if you take action this month. That is why the landing page is very important in online advertising, which you will also learn how to do. You need to know how to get people's details after they have visited your website so that you can continually reach them with special offers and to keep engaging them. Okay, so you need to create an ideal customer avatar. We've already gone through all this. You need to answer the question, who is my ideal customer? What are their pains, their needs, their problems, and their fears? Do they know they have a problem already? What awareness stage will the majority of them be now? Will they be the one to make the buying decision? Will they be the one to buy? So we also need to look at our competitor, who is presently meeting or capable of meeting the needs of my ideal customer avatar. And I named the ideal customer avatar for my business as Femi. I'm looking at the traditional competitor. Those are the businesses offering the same products or services in close proximity to my business or targeting customers in the same area as my own business. Now, we refer to those people as traditional competitors. They are not far away from my business. They're in the same vicinity where I render my business. Maybe they're in the same city. Okay. Now, those are traditional competitors. Those are the same set of people who are able to meet the need that I'm trying to meet for my ideal customer avatar. Then we are looking at the second type of competitor who show up in the search result. You see, a business might be my competitor in my vicinity, but they are not my competitor, online. That's why we are looking at a competitor in the search result. When people type in the keyword, which is digital marketing training in Ibadan, who are the other businesses that also show up on the first page of Google, like my business? Those are my competitors in the search result. I need to know why they are showing up. I need to know what I can do to improve my business to stay ahead of them. So who are the people ranking online with me in the keywords that I want to dominate? Okay, I hope you are getting the point. Okay, so what are the tools I will be using to get customers information? Okay, so that I can engage with them and reach them again continually with special offers, keep them engaged on why a business or service is better than others and why they should consider a product or service. So I'll be using opt-in, a pop-up, or a landing page. You learn how to create all of this. I'm sure you've visited many sites where when you get there, a pop-up shows up asking you some questions. You will learn how to do all that. They were also looking at retargeting through Facebook pixels or remarketing through Google Analytics. These are all retention tools that you can use to reach a customer that has visited your site, a potential client that has visited your site before. I'm sure you've visited sites like Jumia. Maybe you tried to buy something and you didn't eventually buy. Then you notice that once you leave that site, maybe you went back to Facebook or you went back to do other things on the internet. It will be as if Jumia is following you everywhere. It's because there's a Facebook pixel on that site. So this is what it looks like for analytics, where we track people's data. We want to know why this person visited our site. How old is this person that visited our site? What are the interests of this person that visited our site? These are all the things you will be able to do through Google Analytics. And as we go on in the training, you will get to see how all these things are done practically. Okay, because don't forget, digital marketing is not a theoretical course. All what we are doing at this stage of the journey is just to lay a proper foundation so that when we start practicalizing and visiting all the sites that we'll be making use of, you will get to know why we did this foundation part of the journey. Thank you so much for watching this video. My name again is Moses Alabi Sama. I am the founder and head of trainings at Just Breed Digital Marketing Academy. Please, if you have any questions concerning what you are watching or what you are going through the training, be free to chat me up on 090 65 366 248 090 65 366 248. I'll be happy to hear from you. Have a great time.